Yes, people, welcome back to West Ham Unofficial. I hope you are all well. It is FA Cup time as West Ham United take on Kidderminster Harriers. Should be the other way around, but we're going with it at Agborough, which starts in 1 hour and 13 or 12 minutes time, depending on your clock. Hope you are all well. Lateness is greatness, Anton.
Don't know what you're talking about, mate. Don't know what you're talking about. A bit of the old Winter Olympics chat going on.
Yeah, definitely. Hope you're all well in the chat. Get your comments in, because lineups are just over 10 minutes away, so we'll get to that when we get them. Gary, firstly, how are you?
I'm very well, mate. You?
Yeah, not bad at all. And Anton, how are you doing?
I'm good, mate. Thank you very much. Yep, I hope everyone is well, keeping safe, and safe travels to Kidderminster this morning. An early start for a lot of people. So hopefully they're all up there nice and safe and keeping themselves well. And I've just seen there that West Ham service supporters have announced that what they called West Ham
supporter
service have announced that there's no alcohol to be consumed in the away end today. So I think all the fans will be buzzing about that. Not.
Yeah, honestly, it's like they don't want our money. It's like it's just a bit strange. But hopefully they got food, because Old Trafford didn't last night, so they're doing better than Old Trafford already if they've got food.
That's true.
Hope you were well in the chat, JJ. Good morning, Jake and others. Hope you are well, JJ. Let's get straight on into it then. Is there an element of fear inside you, Gary, after what happened last night?
No. Is that a short answer to a long question? No, I feel honestly, Jake. I mean, they're in League 6, is it? National League North. So I mean, if we can't beat them as a Premier League team, we're in big trouble. We just got to contain the fans, contain the noise. They'll have a spell for sure, but we should play. If we concentrate and play to our abilities, we should be comfortable winners. 3 or 4-0, I think.
Yeah. Anton, how are you feeling?
I think there's 112 places that separate us, and you know what, like. Maybe the old West Ham, you would have a little bit of fear in you, but playing the way that we're playing, we shouldn't, in theory, have the fear. And I think at every game I'm confident, and then I go through all the mix of emotions, etc. And I was talking to you, Jake, about half an hour ago about the last time we played them back in '94. With Lee Chapman scoring that absolute worldie of a header. It was the weirdest goal I've ever seen, but. Yeah, I just think I agree with you, Gary. We should be, and we're a Premier League team, and the depth we've got, which is not a huge amount of depth, but the depth we've got is good enough. And they should turn up and beat them today. But you can never underestimate an underdog who have travelled. How many games are they in? 5 or 6 games now through the FA Cup and got to this stage. So fair play to them.
Well, they've got a boxer's chance for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's head into the chat, see who else we have got. Callum, hope you are. It's almost as if there's a negative perception of West Ham fans brought about by a biased media. B team today, we have heard that there's that the team is going to be a mix of experience and a few changes, so we'd expect something along those lines. What are you expecting to see from the lineup, or what would you like to see, Gary?
I'd like to see Occo Flex given a go instead of Yarmolenko. That'd be good. See 1 or 2 come in. Occo Flex and maybe Elise. I think he'll play Ben Johnson. I think maybe Fredericks to get a game. And if Alex Crowd doesn't play today, I don't know what else he's got to do to get a game for the club. So I really hope he plays. So, but I think there'll be a strong team. I think Bowen will be up front, and Antonio won't be risked at all. That's what I think.
Yeah, Anton, what are you expecting?
Well, from my understanding, if you kind of keep an eye on Tom Clark on Twitter, he said that Fabianski and Antonio haven't travelled with the squad. So that's maybe says a lot about maybe his thinking and preparation for the Watford game. I could be wrong, but it looks like Ariolo obviously starting goal today. Of course, we didn't expect Antonio to come in. If you listen to his press conference, he said that he arrived back 11 o'clock yesterday morning and there was no way basically he was going to play at 12:30 today. I'd love to see Okoflex. I'd love to see a little bit more youth given a shot in today's game, but I cannot help but think that the starting 11 is going to consist of players in the first team, in and around the first team. So when I say the first team, I don't mean our starting 11 in the Premier League, but there or thereabouts, the team that maybe we saw out in the Europa League as well. So I wouldn't even be surprised if we got to see a little bit of Ben Rama today. And I do agree with you, Gary, as well about Alex Kroll. He mentioned him in his press conference, and I think it's time to see him. And if Mark Noble's back fit, FA Cup last season in the FA Cup, get him back in, get him alongside Alex Kroll, give Souček and Declan Rice that little bit extra of time to recover. Yeah, let's see what happens.
Yeah, in the centre back conundrum that we've got, of course, we've got the three centre backs. I think we could put Zuma to the side. I'd be
Not
surprised if we saw. Oh, really? Oh,
yeah. Matt was like, absolutely play Zuma, and I was like, absolutely not.
Not yeah. So am I. But if we just go Diop, Dawson, and the youngsters, do you think David Moyes will be tempted to put Dawson with Alese or Baptiste today, Gary?
I don't think he will. No, I think he'll play Diop today. And Dawson, I think play Dawson and Diop. It'd be nice to see him give Alese a go alongside Big Craig, but I think he'll probably play Diop. I don't think he'll risk Alese because it'd be quite a feverish atmosphere, I guess. It might be a lot for the youngsters to bear. So no, I think he'll play Craig and Issa Diop. That's my prediction.
Yeah. Mandy, hope you are keeping well. Agree, think it will be the Europa League line. Get Perkins in there. I'd be surprised considering we're hearing that Okoflex is there. So we know Okoflex is going to be in the squad. We guess considering he's there. So I'd be surprised if Perkins gets a look in. I'd be surprised if both of them are there. There, if I'm honest with you. But NWO says rest everybody, and players against Watford use Okoflex in both games. Frankie, hope you're keeping well. Crow must start. I think he will. Crow and Noble in the midfield, but don't be surprised if he just puts Souček in there because David Moyes just doesn't like resting Souček. He likes Souček in there every single time.
Or even Declan Rice. We were talking about this last night. We're going by what the side we think he'll put out, and he never really tends to do that, and he chops and changes it all the time. So, I mean, honestly, I wouldn't put it past them playing people like I don't want him to play Declan Rice. I don't think he needs to play Declan Rice, but I wouldn't be surprised Declan Rice is chomping at the foot to get onto that pitch today. FA Cup tie, 4th round against the Kidderminster Harriers. I don't think it will happen. I'm just saying, but I don't know how many times you've been correct, or any of us have been correct in predicting a West Ham lineup this season, because I've certainly not. Certainly not.
You know.
No, definitely. So we are 5 minutes away. What are you expecting to see from Kidderminster today? Obviously, it's their big day. It's a sellout. What are you expecting from Kidderminster, Gary?
Well, for sure, 110% effort. I mean, I think that's the capacity is 6,600, of which they're giving 1,600 to West Ham. So I think it'll be very noisy. It'll be close to the pitch, an intense atmosphere. I think they'll get behind their team. I can't profess to know too many Kidderminster players, to be honest with you, but I think they're going to be strong. It is their cup final. I know it's a cliche, but it's their cup final, and they're going to throw everything at us. And we have to be professional and keep to our abilities, and then we should win. But I'm expecting a lot of effort, maybe some naughty challenges every now and then. We'll see.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. What's going on here? Oh my lord! Look at this. So, Anton, take it away.
He's the top goal scorer for Kidderminster. 11 goals, I believe, this season. But the thing is, like, there's a lot of they are playing a lot lower division. They are coming up. They're currently third in their table as well. And like I said, they've travelled the rounds. But I think if there's a couple of players we'd really need to keep an eye on, is going to be Hemmings and Sterling. I think they play in the front line of a front potential three. It depends on how the manager wants to see fit. And this is the manager here, Russell Penn, as well. There you go, Jakey boy, get the images. So I think he's known the club for a long time. But it just depends on how he wants to set up against us. But I do agree with you, Gary. I think that I think that he will be. I think West Ham are going to get a shock. Some players are going to get a shock because they're going to turn up to the stadium. The dressing room's going to be completely different to what they're used to. Some of the players have been used to that. Some of them won't be used to that.
Yeah.
The pitch is going to be tighter, like you said. Depends on the weather. If it's anything like what I'm looking at outside, it'll be another shock to the system. We played Stockport County last year, who were also in the same or similar division, and we just got over the line. But I just would love for us to be able to turn up and do a job. And on the point of players like Alessi and Baptiste, if there's one player I'd love to see West Ham play today, it would be Alessi over all of them, because I've watched a lot of the young players for the past maybe 2 or 3 years. And honestly, I think Alessi is more than capable now of coming into a lineup. I'm not saying starting in the Premier League week in and week out, but for a game like today, I think he's strong enough mentally and physically to be able to handle the pressure of the FA Cup. But it's David Moyes, and sometimes he's risk averse and doesn't want to maybe take things to that level. So I think it would be a shame on Diop if Alessi was to start or Baptiste was to start, because what would Diop do on the bench? What would he be thinking in his head? What do I need to do to play in this team? Because let's not forget, earlier on in the season, Diop was a strong central defender, like in the games that he played, until we started to get injuries. Zuma injury, Creswell injury, and then he was getting inconsistency with the left backs that he was playing with, and that was, in my opinion, part of the reasons why he was struggling in the team.
Yeah, I agree, Anton. He's only had a couple of bad games in the Premier League,
Yeah.
but unfortunately, they are the most recent games he's played. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. We spoke to Kidderminster fan on Thursday night. He said we've got a guy called Amari Morgan Smith who will potentially start up top. Who's an Antonio like physical presence up front for us to deal with. So everybody in chat was nice and positive if we play Diop when they've got a big non-league physical strong lad up front, which will be entertaining for sure. Let's head into the chat. We don't need 2 holding players today or for the Watford game. That's a good point. Do we really need to play both Kraut and Noble, or whoever, play 2 of them? Can we go 1 and just go for it, or would you rather see 2? Anton, come to you.
I think consistency for Moyes and the team is what we need, and consistently he plays those 2 holding midfielders. Now we've all seen Mark Noble progress as a central midfielder, so he can play in a progressive position. He doesn't always have to sit back. So Mark Noble, and the older Mark Noble gets, and this is his last season, you never say never about him potentially pushing further forward. So I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, I take it, is that the team's announced now? Are they out?
Good point. I lost.
Yeah, they are.
I lost the
Wow! Wow!
Oh, hang on. Oh my God! No!
Wow!
Oh my God!
It's an absolutely strong team.
Really?
It is a strong team.
What's he playing Diop over Dawson for? What am I looking at? Oh my Lord!
Well, I mean, the rumor is that Dawson's been carrying a bit of an injury, so.
Well, he's on the bench.
Oh, well, he's on the bench. There you go. Yeah.
It's a strong lineup. Hang on.
Let me get it up. Here it is then. It's on the screen then. Here it comes in 3, 2, 1. Bosh. Areola and goal, back for Fredericks, Zuma, Diop and Johnson playing on the left-hand side. Noble and Krause are 2 holding players. The 4 up front, I expect, will be Bowen up front, Yarmolenko on the right, Benrahma down the middle, and Vlasic on the left. Well, just about 10 minutes ago, Anton, we were saying, Zuma, we can put that to the side. What do you make of that, Anton?
I mean, I'm not. Listen, who am I? I'm just Anton that sits in Scotland who does a YouTube channel who supports the club, and what do I know? But I don't know. Maybe we're just panicking over something that, if the player's fully fit, then you treat him like a fully fit player, and you've got a different sided argument. The other sided argument is he needs game time. He's missed quite a lot of game time, so he's not played for the last 2 weeks. The last game he played was against Manchester United, so. Getting minutes under his belt, players need minutes under their belt in order to get a game. So if they've been away from a long-term injury, how long was he missing for? 3 months, 2 months?
2 months, yeah.
Yeah, so he's missed a lot of game time. So he's only played 1 physical game since his return. So maybe there's method in his madness about putting Zuma in the central defensive area. I'm not surprised with Krall and Noble. We were just talking about that there. I think it's good. I think we might see a little bit more of a progressive Noble moving forward in this game today. Yarmolenko, I mean, we done our preview on our show last night, and Matt said I think it would be Yarmolenko, and I disagreed with him. I thought Fornals would start and Vlasic and Benrahma would be either side, but he's going to commit and stick with Yarmolenko. And at the end of the day, he's our highest earner player, and can you see him getting dropped against Kidderminster? You can't have. It means you have no faith in the player at all, and he obviously seems to have some faith. So, and an interesting point, the French triangle that everyone has been crying out for officially has happened today. At the back, Areola, Zuma, and Diop.
Yeah, well, that's a very good point.
Magnifique.
I mean, go on, Gary.
I said magnifique.
Magnifique.
No, I think it's nice that as West Ham fans, we've been banging on for a long time about taking the FA Cup seriously and to get a trophy under our belt. So it's nice in that sense to see that, he's gone strong. He's taken this competition seriously, and hopefully we should get through to the next round and continue our three-pronged attack on trophies this season.
Absolutely.
No, exactly. Gary, it's up for interpretation who David Moyes will start up front, whether it will be Bowen or Yarmolenko. Those two could interchange, I'm sure. But would you have preferred to see, if it is Yarmolenko starting down the middle, would you have preferred to see our number 40 Oko Flex?
As Anton said, I mean, if Yarmolenko doesn't play against Kidderminster, he's not going to get a game, is he? So, but my personal preference would be to see Oko Flex, because we all know Yarmolenko will leave in the summer. Oko Flex is someone for the future. So I'm hoping, my ideal world, we get a strong lead at half-time and then replace Oko Flex, bring Oko Flex on at half-time. So we're 2 or 3 up at half-time, which obviously won't happen. But if it did in an ideal world, we'll bring him on and get him some experience. That'll be nice for him.
Yeah. Before we take your comments and your opinions on this lineup, drop a like on the video, subscribe to West Ham Official. If you are new, check out our channel sponsors SRM Carver and Sun by clicking the link in the description down below as we let Gary have a drink. Where's the beer, Gary? It's only 34 minutes past 11.
Early for me, mate.
But let's take some of your comments then, and looking through the chat, you lot are not best pleased, but let's scroll up a bit. Jason says, I don't mind Diop. I think he has a part to play for us. He's still really young. What do you guys think of Paddy McNay from Middlesbrough? He played all right last night. I thought he's Northern Irish like me. He played for Man United, and David Moyes would be available on the cheap. I thought he played well last night. Did he score his penalty? I think he did. Most of them did. All of them did for Middlesbrough, in fact. But yeah, for prediction 3-0. There we go. We're going to smash them. Says Jason. NW stick Yarmolenko up top. It's a good team. Noble and Crowell work well together, and would like to see more of them. That's nowhere near our starting lineup. I'm happy with that. There is no kids. Oko Flex has made the bench. We'll talk about the bench in just a second. In fact, we will talk about that now. So the bench is very strong for once. Randolph, Dawson, Alese, Soufal, Creswell, Rice, Souček, Fornals, and Mr. Oko Flex. Anton, I mean, we can make 5 subs in the FA Cup. Who for you is recognisably somebody who's going to come on?
The most ideal situation, right, as a West Ham fan, is that we go in at half-time comfortable, more than comfortable. Ideally, you want to be going in more than comfortable, because that would then give us a realistic opportunity to see players off the bench. Now, at that point, if we are comfortable, you will probably see the likes of Alese and Oko Flex. But if we're not comfortable, you won't probably see Alese or Oko Flex until the latter stages of the game. So the most thing I would want is for West Ham to, ideally and not, thinking about the opposition and giving them respect. But if we can go in half-time 3-0 up, then it gives us more hope to be able to see some of the younger players. And that's what we're desperate to see. We're desperate to see what these players are capable of doing. However, we need to also remember that we are playing a team, like you said, Gary, 6 divisions below us. And we have to respect that as well. So with these players come on and do perform well, that doesn't mean that we've unearthed an absolute unbelievable talent. However, we do think we've got good, talented young players there. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm really excited. I'm glad that Moyes is. Do you know what? I mean, I'm glad he puts out the team that he has the faith in, and this is a big game for me for 2 particular players. Not even Krul, but 2 particular players, Vlasic and Benrahma. Said it last night about Benrahma. He's come back from AFCON. He's a confidence player. And if he can bang in a couple of goals today and get a couple of assists and have a good game, that's good momentum. And that's what David Moyes says week in and week out. Confidence, momentum, consistency, the three key words that he talks about week in and week out. And if Benny has a good game, he then goes into contention for starting the next game, and bang, West Ham are off on a hopefully another good run. Touchwood.
Yeah, I'm just talking about Benrahma, as Anton did there. Gary, he is back, and it's nice to see him back in there because we know what he can do.
Yeah, I mean, he was sensational in Genk against Belgium, and we didn't want that Benrahma to turn up. I mean, as Anton says quite rightly, he's a confidence player. And I think Vlasic is too as well. I think both those two need a good game today, and that will help going forward for the rest of the season. So let's hope both will get a good game.
100%. Anton, it's a big game for Ryan Fredericks down on that right hand side today as well, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I think he's an option, though, isn't he? We saw him. I think it was a year ago to the day yesterday that we played Aston Villa after bringing in Jesse Lingard, and what we saw in that game was a Ryan Fredericks playing out in the right wing, and it gave us another option that we didn't know existed. Now he is going to be playing on the right back today, basically, but he would cause. A lot of people have judged him very early doors. He's been at the club for such a long time. He's been in and out of the squad, but on his day, he can be a top-notch player. And he's another option for us as well. And, pace down that wing can cause any of the Premier League teams' problems, let alone the teams that are in the lower leagues. So it's a good chance for Fredericks to show what he's capable of doing. And we're going to be utilising the squad and fair play. This is utilising the squad.
I fully agree with Anton Fredericks. I think his biggest problem is himself. He doesn't believe in himself because he's got everything. He's really quick. He can defend pretty well, but he just seems like he doesn't believe in himself. He seems like when he gets the ball, he hesitates and not really sure of himself. And if he just got some self-confidence, he'd be a world beater. Yeah. And again, his contract's up at the end of the season, but I would certainly give him an extension myself. I like him. I've always liked him. I think he's had a bad run with injuries. As soon as he gets going, he gets injured.
Yeah, he seems to be a player that also is well connected within the dressing room, so well respected within the dressing room as well. And I think that's key to Moyes. If you're not playing week in and week out, if you are giving something to the squad when you do play, but even out with that, if you perform, keeping the whole squad together with their morale. He seems to be one of those players, and I don't think Moyes would want to lose anyone from the dressing room like that. Although that doesn't mean that because you've got a good morale and if you're a crap player, you would be in the squad, because I think he's got the ability. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. The only thing that could go wrong today is if they rough up the pitch. Standard lower league tactics. And started to say, the Kidderminster fan actually sung the praises really well of their. Oh Christ! Somebody's in a windstorm somewhere.
Is that me? Am I breathing heavy in that?
Yeah, I think so.
Sorry.
It's all right. The Kidderminster fan said their pitch is very good if the conditions are bearable. It should be good. NWO says, I like Fredericks. I agree. Confidence is key for Fredericks. Sam says, anyone else put the channel on and watching some sort of ice skating? The Winter Olympics.
Speed skating.
Yeah, the Winter Olympics. But I think David Moyes, Gary, I'll start with you, has gone extremely strong. We expect us to get the job done, and that rhymes perfect. So, so everything's looking good. Does it concern you how strong David Moyes has gone, or does it not concern you? Let's just get this done, move on to Watford on Tuesday.
Not really. I mean, as Anton made a very valid point, we haven't played for 2 weeks, so some of the players are a little bit rusty. Potentially, we've got Benrahma coming back. He hasn't played for the club for probably a month now. Zuma's coming back off the thing. Ariola's fresh. Fredericks is fresh. Johnson's fresh. So Zuma hasn't played much. Kral hasn't played at all. Noble hasn't played at all. Yarmolenko hasn't played very much. So really, we've got quite a fresh team. So I'm not too concerned at all. Even though we got Watford on Tuesday, I think there's a lot of players to come in. I think Lanzini's not even on the bench, Jake, is he? I couldn't see his name on the bench.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. I don't think he is.
Yeah, he's not on the bench.
No, he's not.
But to be honest, though, like that doesn't surprise me though that he's not on the bench, because I think he's been one of our best performers in the last 6, 7, 8 weeks. and considering his injury record, and I think he's the sort of player, when you listen to Moyes saying Jared Bowen can play every day, not just twice a week. Jared Bowen can play every day, 90 minutes of football. I don't think Lanzini could. So Lanzini probably goes into the bracket with Antonio, and you just bunch them up and just sit them aside and say, go and enjoy your day and support the team, and we'll bring you back in next week.
Yeah. But so no, Jake, I think I'm not concerned about the team at all. I think it's good at giving people minutes in their legs. I think it's a good, strong team. I'm quite happy with it.
Yeah. Let's have a look at the. Let's have a look at the Kidderminster. Like, Christ, he looks about 55, that guy. But anyway, Luke Simpson. I know. Luke Simpson, Alex Pay, Caleb Richards, Nathan Cameron, Sam Austin. Yes, we all know these lot. Mark Carrington, Amari Morgan-Smith, the geezer we were on about, Hemmings, Sterling, we talked about them. Geraldo, Badge, Rami, and Matt Preston. So as you can tell, lots of recognisable names there, along with Stel 2.0.
What I will say is, from even remotely looking into them, a slightest amount of research, that looks like a pretty attacking side. They've got Hemmings, Sterling. Is it Sterling? Was that his name? Sterling James, and the other lad you were talking about there as well. What was the one?
Morgan Smith.
Morgan Smith. I mean, I think that is pretty attacking for Kidderminster. But at the end of the day, if I was a Kidderminster manager, I'm in the 4th round of the FA Cup against Premier League opposition, and you're at home. What are you going to do? You've got nothing to lose. You're going to go for it and enjoy the day, and why not? And good on them. But let's just hope they don't do it against us.
Exactly. Let's hope there's not another Ronnie Radford in their lineup somewhere.
Let's hope we can get the job done. Let's move on to predictions. Gary?
4-0.
Goal scorers?
I think Yarmolenko will get one, and I hope Occo Flex comes off the bench and gets one, and the other 2 will go to Bowen.
Jazzy. Anton?
3-1. And I'm going with Benny, Yarmolenko, and Bowen.
I'm gonna go 2-1 West Ham.
2-1.
Yeah, 2-1. The phone's ringing. Dad, answer that. I'm gonna go Vlasic and Ben Rama to get the goals. I'm not feeling the 4-0, 5-0, 3-0. I'm just not feeling it.
Just to clarify, Jake, it was 2-1 to West Ham, wasn't it? You're saying?
Yes. 2-1 to West Ham. 2-1 to West Ham, definitely. Right, let's move on to final thoughts then, guys. Get your predictions into the chat. We will put up on the screen, read them out, and do all of that. Anton, final thoughts?
Just go out and enjoy the day. I hope the fans, like you said, Gary, I think the stadium will be rocking today with the 6,500 that are in there. A good amount of West Ham to equally good amount of Kidderminster fans. I think it will be a great atmosphere. I think the pitch will be chopped up left, right and centre. Be a good challenge for West Ham. But as long as we can get started quite fast, get a couple of goals early doors, try and make the game as comfortable as we possibly can by half-time, then West Ham can then go out and enjoy the second half. And that's what we want to do. As much as Kidderminster want to go and enjoy this game, put the game to bed as early as we possibly can, allow some of the younger players to come off the bench and through, go for it in their start the West Ham's careers off well.
Yeah. Gary, final thoughts?
Absolutely agree with everything Anton said. Just to add to further strengthen his points, let's make sure everyone stays safe. There's no trouble after the game or anything like that. I'm not sure whether Kidderminster are equipped for the Premier League fans. Hopefully there'll be no trouble. And let's hope we, as Anton says, we're strong, we start positively and don't let the crowd get to us. Get control of the game early on and be comfortable to get some youngsters on for the second half.
Yeah, unless hope there's no issues with fan trouble, as you said, and permits outside the ground, Gary, isn't that right?
Yeah, absolutely.
that's an inside joke that nobody else will get. But let's take some of your predictions then. So 4-0, 3-1, Rising 66. I'm open for extra time and 12 to 13 penalties because I won't have to wash the windows if it gets dark. That's comment of the day. That is comment of the day. So you want it to go the distance, so then you're not made to go and wash the windows because it'll be dark. So then you've got to do them tomorrow. Then Fair enough. I think we've just got to go out there and get it done and show them an element of respect, and hopefully Kidderminster have a good day, but they don't enjoy the result.
Yeah, fully agreed.
100%.
3-1 to West Ham. Yeah, right, that's the plan. So we want to go a distance, so we've got to wash the windows tomorrow. Perfect. 3-1 to West Ham. Just quickly, Anton, can you see any more cup upsets tomorrow? Today or tomorrow, do you reckon?
You put me right under the bus there, so I'm quickly looking at the fixtures because I didn't actually see what all the fixtures are today. And there's a Premier League game on today as well. I didn't know that either.
Yeah, Burnley Watford.
Yeah, there is. Burnley Watford, yeah.
What a
so you've got Chelsea, Plymouth. How good would that be for Plymouth to knock them out? Palace, Hartlepool. There's
Jeff Stelling FC.
Man City, Fulham. I mean, you've got so many potentials there. So many potentials. So yeah, fingers crossed, and fingers crossed Brighton can turn up and do a job over Spurs as well. And we can make it Spursy.
Exactly, you took the words out of my mouth, and you know, we've all got to take the opportunity to laugh at Man United because that's the sixth year running that they're not going to have silverware, which is just funny because it is. Because I just really dislike Man United after last weekend, Gary?
That's it, absolutely. I couldn't stop laughing. I didn't put it on. I put the TV on expecting something else, and it was still playing. I thought, ooh, and I watched it all the way through up to penalties, and it was hilarious. I mean, didn't protect their penalties well? They took them really well.
I can't believe that they scored 8 penalties on the trot without missing one. Championship side at Old Trafford, all the pressure in the world, scored 8 out of 8 penalties.
The 7th lad or the 6th lad stuck it right in the top corner. Just incredible. Yeah. Unbelievable.
I watched the shootout when it was like, it's rise, this is going to go over, and bam, into the roof of the net. Brilliant. 2 handcuffs count as silverware. I don't know, did I? Probably not. JJ says, I do think it'll be 3-1 to West Ham. I'll stand by that prediction that I gave you the other day. There we go. So, we're going to leave it there. Thank you, everybody, for watching in the chat. We will be back on the final whistle. Gary, are you about at full time?
Yeah, I'm around, yeah.
Lovely stuff. There we go. Thank you very much, Anton, firstly.
Come on, you Irons!
Indeed.
Come on, you Irons.
Indeed. Come on, you Irons. Gary, thank you very much. I'll see you at full time.
Cheers.
And yeah, let's hope we can just get the job done. As the 5th round draw will be tomorrow morning. Around now, 24 hours from now, the draw will be taking place. So we'll see what full time. Hopefully, talking about West Ham entering round 5. Come on, you Irons, and we will catch you later on. Bye bye. Up for the cup.